that pit maneuver. There it is, right there. Okay, caused him to spin out and then obviously overturn, and a number of police officers and state troopers are there right now with their guns drawn, approaching that vehicle. They're approaching it very carefully, obviously. They will check to see if that driver is okay, but the main concern right now is that potentially he might have a weapon, and they are obviously being extremely careful right now. This is, again, live video from Osage Sky News 6 HD. They have their guns drawn and approaching that suspect from that bank robbery at the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. State troopers took over this pursuit just a little bit ago, and they obviously go through significant training on how to handle this. They have a canine officer there, officers en masse, obviously, and they are checking in to check on the condition of that driver right now.
Just east of the Turnpike Gate.
And this is I-44 just west of the Turnpike Gate. We're just going to let you watch some of these images right now on their 57th and I-44 in Tulsa. Okay, they're giving me information right now. It's blocking Interstate 44 where?
At the Quick Trip.
At the Quick Trip. Okay, just everybody in the control room, let you know I'm getting much better audio in my earpiece, so you can pass along any details that you get now. Obviously, during a situation like this, we've got people manning the phones. We've got people in our control room working this breaking news on the scene, on the story situation. Osage Sky News 6 HD is up in the air as well. Just a little bit ago, if you're just joining us, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol took over this pursuit. They did a pit maneuver, which is essentially just bumping the back of that vehicle and forcing it to spin out. It did spin out, then it overturned, and officers converged on this location near 57th Street and Interstate 44 in Tulsa. If you know anybody that's about to travel in this area, you obviously want to give them a call and let them know to avoid this area right now. The driver is pinned in that wreckage at this moment. They're going to work to get him out. I don't believe at this point that there was anybody else that was on the scene. Okay, they did get the guy out. I can see it now. We got a better shot from Osage Sky News 6. They're obviously putting him in handcuffs. But officers are also looking in there, so there might potentially have been somebody else in that vehicle. So we're trying to confirm that and gather more information for you, and we will pass that along to you as soon as we get it. But this is a chase that started shortly after a bank robbery, again, at the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. It happened at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, what are we, about 2:47 now, so roughly 45 minutes later, we do have a suspect in custody. Officers spotted this black SUV with a paper tag that was a suspect getaway vehicle after that bank robbery. That prompted a police pursuit by Tulsa police officers. They boxed off an area where they thought this car was located, kind of lost him. They found him again. He went off the road into a grassy area, and we had hoped that that's where he would have stopped this pursuit and could have ended it without any injuries. However, he got back up on the highway, got on New Sepulpa Road, went down New Sepulpa Road, then got on Interstate 44, and that's when the state trooper took over, did the pit maneuver successfully, causing that driver to lose control and overturn. And it's important to note that that pit maneuver was done without injuring any other driver. So we're very thankful of that, because that obviously is a very, very busy area. Okay, we're going to go back. This is video as I described that pit maneuver. This is the pit maneuver that we caught on camera with Osage Sky News 6 HD. You can see the state trooper initiating that maneuver, causing the driver to lose control, and then the vehicle overturned. They do have one suspect in handcuffs outside of that vehicle. We don't know if anybody else was inside, but just a moment ago we did see a couple of officers still peering in some of the other windows, so I don't know. It's hard to tell, at least from our vantage point, if that potentially means that there's some other folks that are inside that car that are trapped inside the car and will need medical attention. But obviously, take a look at that. The number of police officers involved with this. Wow. I mean, more than a dozen police officers, and that's just right there on the interstate on I-44. Obviously, that road is shut down right now as they work this breaking news, as they work this ongoing situation. Again, the good news is no other driver was injured in this pursuit on such a very busy highway. That is one reason we can count our blessings on this situation. Police are still around that vehicle. They approached it very, very cautiously, as you would imagine. Right after that pit maneuver, officers were right there on the spot, and they, of course, drew their weapons and approached that vehicle very, very cautiously to make sure that anyone inside was not armed or posed a threat to them. And then shortly thereafter, within a few minutes, got to one person out of that vehicle. They were in handcuffs laying on the pavement there for just a little bit. Not sure if we can zoom in just a little bit from Osage Sky News 6 HD. You can see they're still very cautious in that area right now. So it looks like one officer or first responder is kind of looking through one of the windows. So that could be an indication that there are others inside that vehicle, but we just don't know. So we're going to stay with this breaking news. Again, this is near 57th and Interstate 44 right now, just off of New Sapulpa Road in Sapulpa. State troopers and Tulsa police are on the scene right now. This started at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, shortly before 2, as a bank robbery at the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. Then within a few minutes, Tulsa police saw this vehicle, a black SUV with paper tags, and that pursuit began. Then at one point or another, we understand that we thought that the driver had ditched the vehicle and got out. That doesn't appear to be the case now. But they pursued that vehicle, put down stop sticks in a number of areas, and that driver continued to avoid those stop sticks. And again, here's that pit maneuver as state troopers took over, pushing that SUV. It hits the retaining wall, the center divider, and then overturns. And that was from Osage Sky News 6 HD, about 10 minutes ago. And so, as you can see, Tulsa police officers were right there on the spot. As soon as that happened, the state trooper, Tulsa police officers all drew their weapons and approached that vehicle very, very cautiously. And then were able to look inside to get that person out of the wreckage of that vehicle and get emergency crews there. This is Interstate 44. Obviously, that area right there by New Sapulpa Road is going to be closed for some time as they look inside that vehicle and clear the wreckage. Obviously, Tulsa firefighters, paramedics, Tulsa police officers, state troopers are all on the scene right now. Osage Sky News 6 HD is in the air right now. You're looking at a live picture. And again, officers are still crowded around that vehicle. We did see one person that was pulled out and placed in handcuffs. I don't see that person now, so I'm just under the assumption that that person was loaded into a police car or an ambulance, probably an ambulance to be checked out. That's typically the case. And then they're still looking inside that vehicle, so I don't know if that is an indication of other people inside that vehicle at this moment. Again, we have ground crews as well headed in that direction. It's been difficult to know exactly where to send them because this was obviously a changing situation. But now that we know that location, we do have crews on the way. As soon as they get there, they will gather more information, and we will have updates on our News on 6 app and on News on 6 at 5 and 6. And of course, we will break into our programming to bring you the latest on this breaking news information. Again, police pursuit that ended with a pit maneuver, a bank robbery suspect in custody. We will have more details as they become available. Now, back to regular programming.